Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our favorite YouTube channel, Privacy Prodigy. गोपनीयतेचा विलक्षण. Today, we are diving deep into DPDPA 2025 Compliance Explained, where we uncover the latest trends in cybersecurity awareness, data privacy, and protections insights simplified for you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Privacy Prodigy. I'm Anil Patil, your guide on data privacy, compliance, and secure digital transformation. In today's video, we are diving into a critical topic that often gets overloaded but plays a massive role in protecting your organization data classification, enhanced protection efforts. So, why does data classification matter so much? First, prioritize security measures. First, data classification helps you identify your most sensitive information, like personally identifiable information, PII, financial data, or intellectual property. Once classified, you can apply the stronger security controls such as encryption, multi-factor authentication, and strict access policies to these high-risk categories, effectively reducing your exposure to cyber attacks. Two, efficient resource allocation. Next, it ensures that your security resources are used wisely. By knowing which data is most valuable or sensitive, you can focus your budget, tools, and efforts exactly where they are needed, avoiding unnecessary spending on data that does not require extensive protection. Three, regulatory compliance. Data classification is also essential for staying compliant. Laws like GDPR, HIPAA, and PCIDS demand special safeguards for specific data types. By clearly classifying your data, you ensure these regulations are met, dramatically reducing the risk of the fines or legal issues.
4. Enhance data visibility and control. Classification gives you a crystal clear view of your data landscape, what data you have, where it's stored, and who can access it. This visibility makes it much easier to monitor data flows, detect unauthorized access, and respond quickly to potential breaches. 5. Improve risk management. Finally, understanding your data classifications helps you assess risk more accurately. It lets you implement targeted mitigations as strategies, strengthening your overall security postures and making your organization for more resilience against attack. So there you have it. Data classification is not just a compliance checkbox. It is a foundational practice that enhances security, optimizes resources, ensures a regulatory alignment, and boosts your entire risk management strategy. If you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss future insights on data privacy and protection. If you have any questions or would like me to cover related topics such as data mapping, data protection impact assessments DPIA and privacy impact assessment PIA. Please feel free to them in the comments below. I had a love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video on on privacy and Prodigy. Question 1. What is the data classification and why is it so important? Answer. And data classification is the process of identifying, labeling, and categorizing data according to its sensitivity, value, and risk. By doing this, organization can determine which data is public, internal, confidential, or restricted, and then apply protection measures appropriate to each class. It is important because it prevents treating all data as the same, which leads to over protection of trivial info or under protection of critical info and helps ensure configuration with the GDPR or HIPAA. Question. What is the data classification and why is it important? Imagine your organization files are scattered everywhere. Some harmless, some very sensitive. Data classification is like sorting those files into clearly labeled folders, public, internal, confidential, or secret. When you look at a file, you decide how risky is it, how bad could it be if it got exposed. Then you place it in the proper folder. This matters because not all files are equal. Treating every file as if is a top secret waste effort. Treating all files lightly risky and leaking your most critical data. With classification, you know exactly which files need the strongest protection. So, in short, classification fails. Classification tells you what kind of data you have and gives you a roadmap for how to protect it smartly. Question 2. How does a data classification helps with regulatory compliance? Answer. Many regulations require that certain types of the data, for example, personal identifiers, health records, financial data, receive specific protections by classifying data. An organization can identify which data sets fall under those regulations and then apply the required safeguards such as encryption, access controls, retention rules. This makes audits smoother, helps avoid fines, and shows that the organization is taking legal obligations seriously. A question. How does data classification helps with regulatory compliance? Many laws like GDPR, HIPAA, DPA, or PCIDSS say you must protect personal data, health data, financial data, banking data, insurance data, etc. But organizations often don't know where all those sensitive databases are hidden. Data classification shows that you scan your data, attack which files contain personal information like identifiers, health records, credit card details, and so on. Once identified, you can apply the exact protection the law mandates. Encryption, access controls, audit logging, deletion schedules. Then, when regulatory audits you can confidently say, yes, we know where those protected files are and we secured them as required. That gives you legal safety and build trust. Question 3. What are the main benefits of prioritizing security measures using classification? Answer. When data is classified, an organization knows which information is most sensitive. This allows them to apply stronger controls like encryption, multi-factor authentication, tighter access policies to high-risk data, avoid uh, wasting resources, protecting non-critical data to the same extent, require faster to incidents by knowing what to focus on first. In short, classification enables prioritize security and efficient resources allocation. Question. What are the main benefits of prioritizing security measuring using classification? Now think of securing your home. You lock the front door. Maybe you are safe, but you don't put heavy locks on your refrigerator. You focus your base locks where the most valuable assets are in data security. Classification works the same way for every sensitive files like personal data or trade secrets. You enforce strongest controls. Think encryption, multi-factor authentication, least privilege access for less risky files. You apply higher protection so you don't burn resources. And when something goes wrong, say a breach, you already know which files to check first. Those in the confidential too or secret buckets. So classification helps you focus your security efforts where they matter most instead of spreading them thin everywhere. Question 4. How does classification improve data visibility and control? Answer. By labeling data and maintaining a catalog of what data does exist, where it resides, and who has access to it. Organizations gain clarity over their data landscape. This visibility helps in tracking data flows, spotting unauthorized accesses, and detecting anomalies or policy violations. Without classification, many sensitive data stores may be hidden or forgotten, increasing risk. Question. How does classification improve data visibility and control? Without classification, your data environment looks like a dark room. Files exist, but you don't know what is inside them, where they live, who is accessing them. Classification flips on the lights. You label each file with its sensitivity note, where it is stored, and log who has permissions from where you can track a data flows, who is sharing what, where, detect anomalies, someone unexpectedly opening secret files, enforce policies. Example, no external sharing of confidential files. You turn chaotic opacity into clarity and control. So nothing sneaks by unnoticed. Question 5. What role does the risk assessment play in a data classification? Answer. Risk assessment helps determine how harmful it would be if a given piece of data were lost, stolen, modified, or exposed. And by combining classification with a risk assessment, organization can decide which mitigation strategy to apply. For example, encryption, a sticker access, a frequent monitoring. In other words, classification gives structure and risk assessment indicates the level of protection needed for each class. This leads to better overall risk management. Question: what role does the risk assessment play in a data classification? Classification tells you which bucket a file belongs in. Secret, confidential, etc. A risk assessment tells you how bad it would be if that file were breached. You combine both. First, you know the file is a secret. Second, you evaluate potential harm, could be the legal penalties, reputational damage, financial loss. Three, based on that, you decide how much protection is enough. Should you encrypt it, restrict access, tightly monitor it more often, etc. That way, you don't under protect or overdo security. You match protection to the actual risk. So classification gives structure, risk assessment gives the logic, and together they guide exactly how to protect each piece of data. Thanks for watching. Stay private, stay safe, stay secure. Only with privacy Prodigy guy. गोपनीयतेचा विलक्षण. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more cybersecurity awareness, data privacy, and protection insights. Thanks.